All right. This is DeeDee Garcia Blase with the Onda show, a radio show that shines a light on Chicano, Mexican American, and Latin artists and those who work with us. With me today is Roy Z, also known as Roy Ramirez. Roy Z was born Roy Ramirez in Pacoima, California, the actual city where Richie Valens is from. But Roy Z changed his name in the 1980s because ethnic names were not trendy at the time. Roy even reversed Ramirez and became Roy Zerimar. Though people began calling him Roy Z for short, Roy began playing guitar and studying music at a young age, influenced by players such as Peter Green, Uli Roth, Jimmy Page, Frank Marino, Carlos Santana, Jeff Beck, and Robin Trower. A regular on the Southern California hard rock scene in the 1980s, Roy played with many bands including Seventh Thunder, Gypsy Moreno, Royal Flush, Driver, Warrior, and Mike Vescera. In 1991, Roy formed Tribe of Gypsies. When Bruce Dickinson split with Iron Maiden in 1993, he handpicked Roy and Tribe of Gypsies members Eddie Casillas, Dave Ingraham, and Doug Van Boeven to complete his solo band. Adding a Latin feel to the metal legend's distinctive voice, the resulting album, Balls to Picasso, is a somewhat eclectic affair ranging from the power ballad Tears of the Dragon, which also received a music video to the doomy rocker Cyclops. Although recorded in 1993, the self-titled Tribe of Gypsies debut album did not surface until 1996, when it was finally released on JVC Victor in Japan. 3 more releases followed in quick succession before the band finally toured the U.S. for the first time, supporting Santana on a handful of dates on the Supernatural tour. After the commercial failure of his alternative rock-styled Skunkworks album in 1996, Bruce Dickinson re-teamed with Roy on 1997's Accident of Birth, also featuring guitarist Adrian Smith of Iron Maiden. The album was a critical success, winning Album of the Year. The band would follow up strongly with 1998's The Chemical Wedding, a concept album with a darker feel, but equally praised along with The Accident of Birth as a fan favorite, even jokingly called by some the best Iron Maiden album since Seventh Son. Roy gained widespread industry acclaim for his work with Dickinson, and in 2000 he was tapped to produce that Rob Halford solo album, Resurrection, which featured the duet The One You Love to Hate, with Dickinson, as well as Halloween's The Dark Ride. Roy would go on to produce and co-write every Halford album to date, as well as taking over on guitar for the departing Pat Blackman in 2003. Roy also reconnected with his former Driver bandmate, vocalist Rob Rock, for a series of albums starting with 2000's Rage of Creation. Roy and Bruce again teamed up in 2003 to write and record Tyranny of Souls, released on Sanctuary Records. The pair could not find time to write the album, so Roy would send riffs to Bruce, who was on the road with Iron Maiden, and Bruce would write melodies and lyrics. The album was recorded in Roy's basement studio and featured session players on drums and bass. Roy himself took a turn on bass for 2 songs, Belly Evil and Power of the Sun. Vocals for the album were done in less than 2 weeks, with Bruce sleeping on a cot in the studio to maximize time. Dickinson had also been injured during a fall at an Iron Maiden show and was all but unable to stand, and the album had to be shelved for more than 8 months, later released in 2005. However, when in 2004, Roy got the call to produce and mix Judas Priest's reunion album, Angel of Retribution. Shortly thereafter, Roy was tapped by former Skid Row frontman Sebastian Bach to produce his 2007 solo album, Angel Down, which included a guest vocal appearance by Guns N' Roses main man Axl Rose. In 2008, Roy and Rob Rock reactivated their long-dormant band Driver and released their full-length debut, Sons of Thunder, which included re-recordings of the songs from the band's 1990 cassette EP. Roy also took part in the Halford reunion and has played guitar alongside metal Mike Kloschik on all subsequent studio and live releases since, starting with the 2009 Christmas album Halford 3 Winter Songs. Roy has also continued his production work, including Ravenous by Swedish heavy metal band Wolf in 2009 and Brazilian thrashers Sepultura's 12th album Kairos in 2011. Welcome to the show, Roy.
Thank you for having us, DeeDee.
You're welcome. You have an impressive rock and metal history, and I see you are now working on new music with Las Vegas and Jupiter Falls. Tell us about the new sounds that you're working on.
Well, the Las Vegas are really good friends of mine that I met in 2008, and we started our relationship in 2008, and they're from Chicago, and they're just, they have like a modern blues thing, and they really feel it and believe it, and they have the blessings of, Willie Dixon's family. They have the real bluesmen, acknowledge them that they're a real rock and roll band, They're to me, they're like a modern Rolling Stones, modern Aerosmith, modern lots of things, They're just really cool. So it's great working with them in Chicago and recording and being able to record at Chess Records with them. Being able to record at Chess Records with them was an honor because I think we were the first band in 20-some-odd years that recorded there. And this is the birth of the blues. This is where Muddy Waters did all his stuff. Howlin' Wolf. This is where Buddy Guy came out of. Jimmy King, Albert King. Just all these amazing players. Little Walter, Etta James, Chuck Berry. They all came out of this place. And there's more, many more. Willie Dixon came out of there. He wrote 2 or 3 Zeppelin songs.
And so 25 years later, Las Vegas is recording a blues rock album out of Chicago, the same place where it all began, essentially?
Yeah. It was really, really a cool spiritual moment, and the family just embraced us and gave us run of the place, and it was beautiful. And,
now, what type of work did you do with Las Vegas?
We worked as a team, and whatever the team needed, someone would step up, and if it meant me on guitar or me on bass or one of the other guys playing bass, one of the guitar players, whatever. But it was all family. It was about family, and being a real band is being a family, and it was a great experience. And I helped with everything, but we helped each other. It was like a team effort.
By the way, I did like Las Vegas's Lucky 13 song that you shared with some of your music fans, and that was a really good song. Can you tell us about Jupiter Falls and the work that you're doing there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working with so many bands, but Jupiter Falls is I think a unique band out of Leeds, England, and they merge some really interesting elements, kind of like Floyd meets like modern rock, and I really like their songs. I think they're all talented musicians, and they're only going to get better. They're all in their young 20s, so they're really gonna, when they get a chance, they're really gonna push, I think, some new ground. And I just love the songs and worked on it until, we're limited these days, especially young bands with the funds to produce something. So we do the best we can for what we have.
I did a little bit of research with regard to your work with Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden and Rob Halford of Judas Priest, and noticed a common denominator, which was to the tune of, a musician, a person turning over a new leaf or going solo. For instance, Bruce Dickinson leaving Iron Maiden back in the 1990s with his Tears of a Dragon song seemed dark but hopeful, as his lyrics seem to have a surrender your soul to the universe type of feeling. And I read one of your interviews somewhere online on the web that Tears of a Dragon was one of your favorite songs.
I think Tears of the Dragon is a song of new beginnings, and I think it's facing your inner self and what you really are meant to do and what you need to do. And just letting go and being able to just give yourself up. I love the lyric. I think it's very positive. It's for me I think it's the best solo I've ever done. Not that there's other solos that I'm proud of, but I really tried hard to like come up with something memorable, and I think I did on that one. But it's Bruce's anthem. It's his song. It's his mantra. It's his soul that makes the tune. It's a beautifully written tune. He wrote a gem. It's like forever. The world will never be the same. I always say a good song. Can you imagine the world without a whole lot of love? Like, really? No. You know, Stairway to Heaven? No. So
no.
This is Bruce's Stairway to Heaven.
I saw in an interview you had with KK Downey where you saw Bruce Dickinson rocking out to your music. Do you remember what song he was banging to back then?
Yeah, it was a song called Fire Dance, and it has a really intense guitar solo. It's like really crazy. And I remember just going, whoever this guy is, I'm gonna get crazy right now. I told these guys not to play my music to nobody. Yeah, and in those days, Bruce had really long, straight hair, like really long, and I'm just seeing all these greñas flying. I see all this hair just head flying, and like, who in the hell is this guy?
So once you discovered it was Bruce, what were you like shocked?
Yeah, because I had to go in reverse. I was angry. I went from anger to like, what? That was like trying to hit reverse on the freeway, you know.
What was that moment when you knew you wanted to be a musician?
You know, my first dream was sports when I realized that because of health issues that I had with, you know, physical health issues, I had an accident. It really kept me from my dream was to be a ball player. But, you know, I turned to music. I loved the music. You know, my family tells me all the time that before I could talk, I could sing along to the Beatles cartoons with the little bouncing ball. So it's like that's for me, you know, before I could even talk.
So you're a Beatles fan.
Big time. Huge. Crazy.
What's your favorite?
That's the best. They did everything. They covered every single type of ground that pertains to today's music. Every single thing. They covered it all.
What was your favorite Beatles song?
That varies, you know. I really liked Hard Day's Night when they did the song If I Fell. What a great tune. You know, but they have a lot of great tunes, you know. It's like to name one Beatles song, I mean,
yeah, I know.
It's like a Bible, you know. It's like to say just say one verse out of a Bible, you know. You can't do it.
True. You've been listening to the Que Onda Show, and after these messages, we will come back with Roy Z. Thank you for listening to the Que Onda Show, and we will conclude our interview with musician, producer, songwriter, Roy Z.
I want to give a shout out to all the Latinos that have crossed over in rock and metal, and to the British dudes that started the trend, you know, because they gave guys like Rudy Sarzo, who got in Ozzy. He's Cuban American, and then Ozzy had Mike Inez, who was Chicano, and he had Randy Castillo, who was Native American Chicano. From Colorado. He had a lot, Ozzy had a lot of guys, and guys like Rob Halford, taking a chance on somebody like me or Bruce Dickinson, they don't see color over there. They didn't see Jimmy was black. That's why Jimmy, had to go over there. you know, and then now Robert Trujillo's and Metallica, you know, and all those guys, and those early guys, you know. But number one is Richie Valens, and then Carlitos, you know, took the torch, and we got to keep it going, you know. There's a lot of great music that's out there that's Chicano, but I'm into more human. We're all human, but it's the beautiful the colors that we can show, and I don't think we should be afraid to show those colors.
I agree, and I know music is in the arts scene is a different playing field than that of the political atmosphere.
Well, do you know who baptized me? You know who gave me my name?
Who?
Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, so I auditioned as a young whatever, I don't know how old I was, but I auditioned for the band Dio. I sent in my tape, and I got an audition, and I went there, and it was a cattle call, so it was like a lot of people just in the line, everybody waiting for their turn, and that's how I got that name. Later on, I asked the guy that was running the production for those auditions, and I later auditioned for Dio again, but to sum up that story, this story is, later on I talked to the production guy, and I go, who came up with, when you guys did Roy Z, how come you guys didn't? He goes, no, Ronnie said if you got the gig, that's what you're going to be called. So, that's it. I ran with it.
Yeah, you did. Tribe of Gypsies, I've listened to some of that music. It has a rock en español flair to it. What was your favorite song that you worked on when you were?
Well, we're still a band. We're working on music now. We're always working on music.
Oh, really?
And we're going to be releasing a double album of former songs and then 4 new songs on vinyl only. And then after that we're going to release the album all on vinyl, all of that catalog, with bonus material included in those releases. And
I like We Bleed Red.
That's to me that's the best. You know, Carlos basically said that, you know, they were going to do that song for Supernatural, and he asked us if that was our song, and we said yeah, and the guys pointed at me, and he goes, that is your calling card, that's your song. He goes, oddly enough, we rehearsed it we were, that one was up for Supernatural, and I was like, what? My jaw hit the floor. I was like, no manches. I was mad. I was like, cabrón, like, really? Don't tell me that.
You're like, what?
It's only like the biggest selling album you ever had, vato, you know, like, really? I was like, why don't you do it on the next one then? And he's like, no, now that I heard it, he goes, no, now that I heard it, it's your calling card. It's you guys' song. It's your anthem.
He gave you the blessing.
He did. But then all of a sudden, you know, he's like, I was like, oh, man.
I should have.
News.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hard news to hear, you know. Like, really?
This is probably going to sound like a rhetorical question, but Axl Rose is one of my favorite American rock musicians, like, ever.
Mm.
And I saw that you did work with him with the Angel Down album Sebastian Bach created. Was Axl Rose as intense working in the studio as he is performing concerts for his fans?
I would say that Axl was a pleasure to work with. He had a lot of enthusiasm. He's very professional. He really is. He's a very smart man, and he has so many wonderful voices inside of him. It's amazing. He can change gears at any moment. Mm-hmm. And it was a really cool working with him. I think he just doesn't. He feels when people are real, and he's cool.
You're the headliner of Chicanos in Metal, and after you, I am interviewing an all Chicano metalcore progressive metal band, and they're all in their 20s. But I was really shocked that they were an all Chicano band. Have you ever heard of an all Chicano metal band before? Like Chicano? I mean, I've heard of
yeah, they're in the neighborhood here was Mad with Thunder, which Sal Rodriguez played in. There's a local legends here. Rudy Reyes, God rest his soul, was like a powerhouse, and Sal Rodriguez, who's now in war, played in a band here called Mad with Thunder here in Pacoima. And then there was another band that some really good band out here that was called Rook. There was a lot of bands around here, but rock and metal and metalcore, all these, things. It's the concept of doing that I think is pretty cool, but I just hope we can break through, and get everybody through,
So Mad with Thunder is metal?
Yeah, they were metal back in the 80s, like, yeah.
Wow.
And Sal from War, Sal Rodriguez from War, he was one of my main homeboys. He's from Novario, and he's very successful. I'm really proud of him. And Sal back in the day won 2 Guitar Center drum-offs in a row. And he was in Modern Drummer and everything. He was a pioneer in his field of drums. And he's still a great drummer, a great timbalero, everything.
Speaking of breaking through, what message do you have for Chicanos and Chicanitos musicians that are in metal? Do you have a message you want to convey to them?
Yeah, I mean, for me it's basic. I mean, I didn't get known until I was doing Tribe of Gypsies, which is my take on who I am and what I believe in, and my bandmates as well. And my main thing is just keep it real.
How can new metal fans in the next generation of music lovers get a hold of you?
They could hit me on royzemusic.com. They could hit me on the different Facebook pages I have. If you go to those, you'll find me. I mean, Roy Ramirez at Facebook. royzemusic.com.
Okay.
You could find me, and you can email me through royzemusic.com. I'll get those emails.
Okay. Well, thank you for appearing on the Que Onda show. And I was wondering, what song do I have your permission to play on the air? Is there one in particular from Tribe of Gypsies?
Well, any ones you want. I'd say, if you're gonna pick one, We All Bleed Red for sure.
Okay.
But there's other wonderful songs on that we have. So I'll just let you pick.
Okay. Well, since Santana called it your calling card, I think I'm gonna pick that one.
That sounds good to me. That sounds good. Great, DeeDee.
All righty. Well, I hope to see you someday perform when I'm in LA. I know that Ruben Salazar is always, just completely stoked with the type of guitar that you play. I was really impressed with the Voodoo Child. I'm a big fan of Jimi Hendrix, as are you.
Yeah.
And, man, you really shred. I was like, wow, man. You're playing with one finger, 2 fingers, one hand, sideways, behind your neck.
With shoes, without shoes, with chewing bubble gum, with no chewing bubble gum, drinking a beer. I don't know. Playing frisbee.